Today we are going to discuss about the topic of the history of electronic media. Start with their introduction that what is electronic media. Electronic media are media that use electronics or electromechanical means for the audience to assess the content. This is in contrast to static media, mainly print and electronic, which today are most often created digitally but do not require electronics to be assessed by the end user in the printed form. The primary electronic media sources familiar to the general public are video recording, audio recording, multimedia presentations and slide presentations, CD-ROM, and online content. Most new media are in the form of digital media. However, electronic media may be in either analog electronic data and digital electronic data format. Start with the media. Media basically nowadays is a very good tool for the communication. Media are the communication outlets or tools which are help to the audience to inform, educate, and entertain. The term refers to components of the mass media communications industry, such as print media, publishing, the news media, photography, cinema, broadcasting, radio, and television, digital media, and advertising. Basically, the term media in its modern applications relating to communication channels was first used by Canadian communicator theorist Marshall McLuhan, who started in counterblast in 1954. The media basically are not a toys. They should not be in the hands of Mother Ghosts and Peter Pan executives. They can be entrusted only to new artists because they are art forms. By the mid 1960s, the term had spread to general use in North America and United Kingdom. The phrase mass media was, according to H.L. Mencken, used too early in 1923 in the United States. The plural of medium are means of communication, derived from the Latin word medius, middle, between. The term refers to anything that carries information between a source and a receiver. The development of early writing and paper, enabling longer distance communication systems such as mail, including the Persian Empire like Chappar Khan and Agrarian. and Roman Empire, which can be interpreted as early form of media. Writers such as Howard Leangold have framed early forms of human communication as early forms of media, such as the Lascaux cave printing and early writing. Another framing of the history of media starts with the Chavroot cave printing and continues with other ways to carry human communication beyond the short range of voice, smoke signals, trial markers, and sculpture. Is a mean of transmitting the message through the opinion and viewpoint. Its purpose is to facilitate communication and learning skills. So what is electronic media basically? Electronic media nowadays is a very important in the people, because with the help of these media we can feel very relaxed in sitting of our home or in a room. We can easily buy with the help of electronic media. We can shopping, purchasing, electric bills, phone recharge, buy a medicine, buy a grocery products, any kind of things nowadays we can do just with the help of electronic media. Although the term is usually associated with content recorded on a storage medium, recordings are not required for live broadcasting and online networking. Any equipments used in the electronic communication process like television, radio, telephone, game console, handheld device may also be considered electronic media. Electronic media exists today in many forms like radio, television, videotape, audio tape, telephone, telegraph, computer files, etc. Basically, the purpose of using electronic media can be for many reasons. One of the reason is that you can use it to market yourself and anything else from business to product and so on. Electronic media is an efficient way to communicate to one another, either by the use of media devices and networks of social media sources such as television or the internet. These are a few of the many ways you can use electronic media to your advantage. Electronic media is enjoying broader use every day with an increase in electronic device being made. The meaning of electronic media as it is known in various affairs has changed with the passage of time. Basically, television is one of the most used electronic media device because franchises can pay for advertisements to show millions of people, thus bringing in more business for the franchise owner. The radio is similar but doesn't give the audience visuals, just sound. This method of electronic media can be effective and much more affordable than television, but doesn't engage the listeners as much as visual ads. Because with the help of television, we can see the product in front of us, how it will be a look, how it will be a work, and is it good for us or not? It helps us in the long future or not? We are analyzing this just with the help of television ads. Basically, shops has electronic media in most places, whether it be on an electronic billboards or ATM screen, electronic media is sure to be in almost everywhere you go. Next is the history of electronic media. Start with the history of electronic media. First of all, by 1927, broadcasting can implemented in the audiences and people can easily start in it. Rapid communication through latest technology has facilitated speedy information gathering and dissemination, and this has become an essential part of the modern society. It was Marshall McLuhan who said that electronic technology is reshaping and restructuring pattern of social independence and every aspect of our personal life. Extraordinary information explosion have dramatically shrunk time and distance and have converted our world into a global village. Basically, electronic media has transformed communication and our ability to share, store, gain information and knowledge. Telegraph in 1938, telephone in 1876, radio in 1895, television 1927, early computers 1942, photocopy machine 1946, transistor in 1947, microcomputer in 1960, and computer between 1960s to 1980s. Firstly, when introduced the computer that there has no inbuilt microphone facility. Just is like a box, and after some times a computer is properly implemented and working in 1980s. People access to information has become easy and universal. External control of information flows has become more difficult. Information exchange has become cheaper and simple. It has become easy to have two-way interaction and exchange of ideas. Wide reach and low reception cost encourage centralized information disseminations, and with multi-channels, listeners and viewers have opportunity to pick and choose among the programs of their links. Politically, two-way media are democratic, in which each party is equally empowered to raise new issues on electronic networks. Basically, Indian media was active since the late 18th century, with print media started in 1780. Radio broadcasting initiated in 1927, and the screening of Auguste and Louis Lumiere moving pictures in Bombay initiated during the July of 1895. It is among the oldest and largest media of the world. Basically, computer technology is advancing in every walk of life to the point which change is occurring so rapidly that there is no time to react. The Indian media consists of several different types of communication, of mass media, television, radio, cinema, newspapers, magazines, and internet-based websites and portals. The print media started in India as early as 1780, I am telling you firstly, and radio broadcasting began in 1927. Indian media is among the oldest in the world. In this, we will start it by that while digital media didn't come into common use until the late 20th century. The conceptual foundation of digital media is traced to the work of scientist and engineer Vernier Bush and his celebrated essay As We Make Things, published in the Atlantic Monthly in 1947. Basically, the electronic age is also known as the information age or the digital age. It began around the 1970s and continued till the present day. This is a period of transition from transnational industry to an economy based on information computerization. Lancaster and Naisbitt proposed that we are approaching a paperless society where it is faster and less expensive to communicate through electronic channels. It is becoming cheaper to handle words electronically than to handle them physically, to the point where the physical mode is becoming too expensive for ordinary use. Electronic media makes communication easy to connect people from one end to other end by getting them together through media facilities. Before some years, people used perform cultural events in various forms like folk dance, drama, folk events, etc. Nowadays, our most often news is spread and read electronically, and so are advertisements. Electronic media in general makes communication easy for people to connect people, bringing them together through media facilities. You know that who is the father of media? That Marshall McLuhan is the father of media. With the help of this, we have to recognize your audience, understand your value, be ambitious, and let people know about it. Offer a membership model, use third-party services to bring high-value adverts to your base. Leverage affiliate marketing, start a YouTube channel, ensure your content is unambiguous and meaningful. Implementing a computer-based system to facilitate scholarly communication has its own set of concerns and issues. The internet is an existing attempt at such a system. It offers users the benefits of access, file transfer, and electronic mail, in which includes electronic journals also, with remote systems around the world. Sometimes the invention of the transistor unheralded in the electronic age, people harnessed the power of transistor that led to the transistor radio, electronic circuits, and the early computers. In this age, long distance communication become more efficient large electronic computers. Basically, the media has played a major role in positive developments like the fight and racism, gender bias, and world poverty. And we have to spreading the awareness about the need for the world peace. Nowadays, electronic media has very vast role in our life. Nowadays, adults don't want to buy a newspaper and read it. They think that it's a wastage of time. But similarly, while traveling and while going somewhere, they use the e-newspapers, e-magazines. With the help of e-newspapers and magazines, they know about everything that what's happening in our surroundings, and they buy a more knowledge that are implemented in the newspapers. Basically, in the newspapers, we have a specific space. We can't adjust the news in properly in a specific space. In the newspaper, we just attach with the picture of incident, while you are seeing in the electronic media, yeah, electronic newspaper, with the help of news. First of all, in the electronic platforms, we have no problem and we have no boundaries that we have a specific space and we just write a 2000 words, 200 words, 150 words, and that's it. Basically, with the help of electronic media, we can also see the video that actually what's happening in the incident area. We also can analyze that is it right news or not after analysis the watching of video. Because nowadays some journalists are under pressure and they can just talk in a one side. So that's a bad. If you are journalist, you have to responsibility that in your shoulders people can trust. If you are guide the audience wrongly, they never trust upon anyone, because media is the fourth pillar of a democracy. With the help of media, we can share our feelings, our problems basically. If you see the down to earth people, very backward areas, they have to help of media, that media help the people and they stand up their problems, their issues, and due to some illiteracy, they don't know about their rights. That's a very big problem. So if we are talking about the electronic media that they people want to see, no, because with the help of illiteracy, they never visualize the electronic thing firstly, like our Android phones, our computers, or such things. So in his proposals for an ideal national research and education network, Dr. E. Brownrigs suggests 10 principles be adopted for such a scholarly system. Here we go. It provides basically protection of each user's First Amendment rights. I'm telling you firstly that some people don't know about their rights. They never aware their rights. So that's why they always live in a boundaries, in just a limitations. Narendra Modi starts, our Prime Minister starts a scheme, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Do you think that it will be implemented that right now? No. If we are belongs in the some educated families, we are some high class, they know about their rights and their girls fight for the educations. But do you think that their middle class peoples and some belongs to a SCs and OBCs categories, they people help their children, basically girls, to stand and for do something? No. So this is the biggest problem in our society, in our culture basically. If a boy can do anything, then a girl have a similar right to walk with the same shoulder of the boy. If a boy can do anything, girl also can do everything nowadays. She can play up, she can flying the airplanes, they are in the railways, they are in the police, they are in the any areas. So a girl can do anything. So firstly, we have to know about their rights. Second, the freedom of all users to publish onto the networks. Is it right? But sometimes we don't have the proper freedom because in the context of the children's, they use the networks wrongly and they never implement and develop ourselves that what is happening in the surroundings. Basically, a free market status for the network administration, remote access, privacy from government, eavesdropping, and recognition of intellectual property, which includes copyright enforcement and royalty distributions. Nowadays, we have to think about it very deep thoughts. Next, what is basically electronic media works in our world, in our country, or in our surroundings? There are three traditional types of electronic media and a few hybrids. First, television. Second, radio. Third, internet. And fourth is smartphones may have created a new media type. Fifth is electronic display advertising. Electronic streaming billboards may also be a new hybrid. Firstly, start with the television. Television basically sometimes a shorter to a TV or tele is a telecommunication medium used for transmitting moving images in monochrome. or in color and in 2 or 3 dimensions and sounds. The term can refer to a television set, a television show, or the medium of television transmission. Basically, television is a mass medium for advertising, entertainment, news, and sports. In 2013, 79% of the world household owned a news television set. The replacement of earlier bulky high voltage cathode ray tube, that is CRT, cathode ray tube, screen displays with compact energy efficient flat panel alternative techniques such as LCDs, LEDs, OLEDs, etc. Basically, television signals were initially distributed only as terrestrial television using high-powered radio frequency television transmitters. To broadcast the signal, and a standard television set consists of multiple internal electronic circuits, including a tuner for receiving and decoding broadcast signals. Next is about the radio. Radio has a golden period in their time and they have to know about the signals. Applications of radio wave that don't involve transmitting the wave significance distances such as RF heating used in industrial process and microwave owners, and medical uses such as cathetery and MRI machines. Radio waves were always first identified and studied by German physicist Heinrich Hazard in 1886. The first practical radio transmitters and receivers were developed around 1895 to 1896 by Italian Guglielmo Marconi. Next, we have internet. Internet basically a vast network that connects computers all over the world. Through the internet, people can share information and communicate from anywhere with an internet connection. Basically, the internet is biggest the worldwide communication network of computers. The internet has millions of smaller domestic, academics, business, and government networks, which together carry many different kinds of information. The short form of internet is the net. The World Wide Web is one of its biggest services. Internet, TV, radio, arguably electronic billboards might qualify. Smartphones are a play between phone and internet, so might pass for electronic media. Basically, in the education sector, various multimedia and slide presentation, a primary electronic media source is used. The sole aim of such presentations is to create a certain expertise among students in the desired field of education. The presentations are simple and easy to understand. The pictorial representation could enhance the understanding level of reading. Start with the advantages and disadvantages of electronic media. Firstly, advantages of electronic media is education. In many areas, people get educated through the media where they get to learn many things from media about politics, outside environment, etc. Informational, exposure, opportunity, and many areas people get educated through the media where they get to learn many things from media about the politics, outside environment, etc. And media like television is a good source for the people to get updated through the electronic media, and electronic media makes the people aware of worldwide things. With the help of advantages, we have to immediacy, provides information and entertainment, create awareness among people, it develops our thoughts and ideas, keep up in touch with what is happening in our society, made communication increasingly easier, and connect diverse people from far and near geographical locations. In this, we have a speedy communication, mobility in information transfer, access to visual, audio, and text communication, ease to access and long-term storage. It is cheap. So with the help of advantages, we are talking like emails are delivered extremely fast when compared to traditional post. Emails can be sent 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Webmails means emails can be sent and received from any computer anywhere in the world that has an internet connection. When using broadband, each email sent is effectively free. Dial-up users are charged at local call rates, but it only takes a few seconds to send an emails, and emails can be sent to one person or several people. Next, about the disadvantages. With the help of disadvantages, noise pollution, decision making, common diseases and complications brought by electronic media, eyesight, exposure to radiation, which is lethally harmful to human body. The recipient needs access to the internet to receive emails. Viruses are easily spread via email attachments, and most email provides scan emails for virus on your behalf. We have the phishings. In this, sending an email to a user falsely claiming to be a legitimate company to scan the user into providing information such as personal information and bank account number on the bogus websites. The details will then be used for the identity theft. No guarantee the email will be read until the user logs on and checks their email. And in the disadvantages, we have spam, unsolicited emails, that is junk mails. Basically, there is a high problem with the help of disadvantages that it leads to individualism. Some media contents are not suitable for child. Newspaper is geographically selective. Increase in advertisements in television and radio is making them less attractive. Increase in advertisements in television and radio is making them less attractive. Internet as a form of the media opens up possibility of imposters, fraud and hacking. Basically, in the disadvantages of media include a risk of inaccurate reporting and loss of privacy. Sometimes in a rush to be the first to break a story, the media puts out incorrect or inaccurate information. This can be embarrassing and spending on the information, and it can harm a person's reputation. In this, sometimes that puts on in an unfavorable position or conditions. His bad temper is a disadvantage. Cost effectiveness, improve quality assurance, increase productivity, work in hazardous environment, potential job losses, initial investment cost. We have to risk of our health, hiring skilled staff, and with the help of these, basically, this is note addiction, time waste, and cost distractions, bullying, trolls, stalkers, and crime, spam and advertising, pornographic and violent images, never being able to disconnect from work, identity theft, hacking virus, and cheating affects focus and patience. So thank you so much. I hope you clear about the all context of the history of electronic media. Is electronic media is useful for us or not? And is we have to waste our time in the electronic media, or we have to do some better things on electronic media is very good. So thank you so much.